friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. So it's the end of the school year for my kiddos, and every single year I do like an end of the school year celebration. It is just to celebrate the start of summer, to congratulate them for such hard work that they have done throughout the school year. And it's just for them to know, like, Mom and Dad, we're stoked to have you home. For me, it's very important that my kids know that I enjoy having them home for any single break. And one thing that my son said during Mother's Day, he had to fill out a questionnaire. It was, what's the one thing your mom loves the most? And his answer was, when I'm home from school. My job is done. So that being said, the theme for this year is Mario, because Mario is super huge right now. And actually, I'm a huge Mario fan. So look at how stinking cute these are. These are just little vases that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, some little greens, and then this right here. And today I'm going to show you how to make this entire setup. Yeah, we're going to learn how to make a customized Mario with any face that you need, and then also how to do this vase. And you're only going to need one sheet of green 12 by 12 cardstock for this. Just one sheet. And then the vase you're just going to get at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And the coolest thing about this is when we're done using this, all you're going to have to do is peel the cardstock off and we can use it for another event. So you're not stuck with having just a random green tube forever. You can have another option. That being said, there are a ton of tutorials out there on how to make this tube. But let me tell you why this tube is like the best tube ever. Because it's all of like $2 to make. So I had actually initially wanted to get some PVC pipe to make it like a real thing, right? Because that's who I am. I love making like real life objects. But when I went to Lowe's, the cost of PVC pipes were astronomical. And one of these things would have been like $100, which is so out of the budget. I'm a budget crafter and a budget party planner, especially when it's just going to be for the kids, just a quick little celebration, right? So I don't want to break the bank. I don't want to spend a bunch of money. So I'm going to try and budget this the best way possible, but still make them look absolutely amazing. I decided to say, screw it. I'm not doing the whole PVC pipe. Then I like tinkered around with a lot of different ideas, and I'm about ready to show you the ugly before we got to the pretty part. Okay, so I just walked around my craft castle, I walked around my house, and I was looking for round objects, and I found this right here. And it's plastic, but it's pretty large and it's pretty round. And the problem with this is that it's so big that, look at the back. You would have to need like a 14-inch piece of cardstock, otherwise that you'd get this like weird line. This, the tape is falling off, so it's starting to come out. But like, this isn't cute. And if I'm not going to do the real deal, I want it to look cute. So I was like on Instagram complaining because, this is killing me inside. The fact that it's so ugly. There's no way I could like give this to my kids, right? So a cool crafter reached out to me and was like, you know what? I make these tubes out of paper. You can have my file for free. And I'm like, sure. Downloaded the file. I cut it all out. I went to assemble it and decided that I glue like a kindergartner. This is rough. Her pictures and the way that she assembles them, top notch, grade A. But this was not for me. But like, I really messed up here. Like, this was bad. So this obviously wasn't going to be it either. So this is the part of being the crafter, is you have to kind of craft new ideas. So I already did two. I always say third time's the charm. Like, we really learn from the first two mess ups to get to the third, and this was the third time. So I am not someone that loves Dollar Tree. It's not something that I love to go to, or not a store I love to go to. But I was kind of looking for like a cheap round cylinder vase. And what better way than go to the Dollar Tree, and it's a glass vase for $1.25. Like I said before, we're going to take it all apart later, and you can use it for a different event, and you really only spent $1.25. For this project, you are going to need that vase. I have some foam strips that I got from Fanciful Chaos. Her name is Nancy. She's the shop owner, and she sells a whole bunch of color foamies, but she also has these strips of foam. You can see I have my little extras right here. but they're double-sided with the tape, and you just peel it off. They're sticky on the back, and then you peel off the top part, and then it's sticky. So I'm going to use that for my tube. But then also you're going to need some double-sided stick tape, which Nancy also sells. You could also do regular paper glue or hot glue. I just liked the fact that this was like super instant. All you're going to do is like lay the tape down and then fold it over. Really simple and quick and easy. If you're a stickler about hard lines, which that's what I am, I wanted to make sure that my lines and the seams matched up perfectly. You're going to want to have an X-Acto knife just so we can slit off the little extra, because you are going to need a little bit extra. I have a clear stick for this right here, and I sell these in my cardstock shop, and it just makes it so where she kind of looks like she's jumping straight up out of the tube. If you don't have a cake stick, a clear cake stick, what you could do is, my son is on a wooden stick, and we'll just use the bad one, but so it just kind of, you can still see it, serve its purpose, but it just has a different vibe than when you do the clear versus the wood. So there's two different options. That's all you're gonna need for, oh, got some green grass. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was the cheapest anywhere. If you were able to scoop some up on clearance for Easter and have some laying around, cool beans for you. But if not, this is the cheapest I found at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so for the tube, that is going to be it. That's all the supplies you're gonna need. One sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. Now for this, you are gonna need a print and cut. So any cardstock that you are going to use for print and cut. And then I backed mine with glitter cardstock. You can do white cardstock, and need some hot glue. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on here. These are really simple and really easy. I put Nancy's black foamies for the mustache. So cute. These are super easy to make. Okay, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble the tube. And then after that, I'm gonna show you how we are going to design and cut out these cutouts. I did forget to mention that you do need a pair of scissors or a guillotine cutter for this project. It would just help to make sure that you have some straight lines for when you're cutting your piece of paper to size. Okay, so this is green cardstock that you can find in my cardstock warehouse. And all I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock the very height of my jar. Okay, so the full height of the glass that I've chosen is about 7¼ inch. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this to 7¼ inches. Okay, that's all you're gonna need for that. Then what you wanna do is take your double-sided stick tape, and we are going to put one on the inside portion of your green rectangle. You're also going to need to put another piece of double-sided stick tape on the other side. Okay, I like to give this a really good rub down. Now, only taking one side off. We are gonna take this piece off, and we are going to just set up our glass, put the piece of tape or the piece of paper down, and we are gonna lay down our piece of green cardstock that we have. Okay, you wanna make sure that your piece of paper is nice and level onto the table, and then you're just going to roll this over, making it tight, and we're gonna line up the edges of our paper. Okay, when you have it like done, and it's, see how there's no like air bubbles or anything like that, and the edges are lining up perfectly. I just have my thumb holding it in place. I'm gonna roll up and just take that piece of plastic. There we go. Okay. Making this tight, we're just gonna roll it in. See? Just like that. Okay, so for the very next part of this, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this foam strips. You could do the green foamies if you wanted to, but I like the fact that it's just gonna be one solid strip. And I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna put it all the way around the top portion. Okay, so for the band for the tube, I made it 2¼ inches thick. If you wanted to, you can make this bigger or smaller. It just depends on whatever preference you have. So if you have 2¼ you want to do a second band, and you want to make sure that it's no more than 2¼ So I'm going to take a fabric measuring tape. So I don't want to put the foam right here below the 2¼ because then you'll be able to see it. So you want to make sure that it's just inside the 2¼ And we're just gonna do a second band of foam tape. If you don't want to do this step, you don't have to. I prefer doing this just so there's stability in our tube for display. Okay, and I'm just gonna take all my extras that I have and I'm gonna put them in between the band. It's just gonna help with stability. You won't be able to see this ugly, so it won't matter. Keeping that tape on there. Then before we do anything else, you wanna make sure that everything is inside that 2 1/4. Okay, after you're making sure that everything is within that band, I'm gonna take this piece of paper. This is still that very first sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'm gonna make it 2 1/4 inches wide. Okay, now we are done with the guillotine cutter. Okay, before taking this off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this around and see how there's a little bit of a carryover. If you don't want to do if you don't want to cut it, what you would need to do is make sure that wherever you start your process of putting your tape on, that's where you're at. So line these up, or you can just cut off the excess if you wanted. For this one, I'm not actually going to cut off the excess. I'm just going to put a little piece of double-sided stick tape on the inside portion of this. Okay, I've lined up my seams in the back, so I'm just going to let go of one of them, taking my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut like a line, marker line in all of my foam pieces. It's going to be hard to see, but they're in there. I'm just going to take them off just like this. Okay, I'm going to line the foam pieces up with my ripped tape. It's going to look like it's not going to line up, but that's because I didn't cut the excess off. Okay, then now that that's stuck on there, I'm just going to peel off the rest of my tape. Doing the same thing that we did before, I'm going to roll this over so it's nice and flat. And I'm going to pull tight, making sure that everything's even. Okay, now that it's on there, I'm just going to roll over and take off this piece of plastic like that. And then just lay this over. Now I'm a little bit off. You can see I'm just a little bit off, but you know what? That's okay. It's okay. At least it's not like really far off, right? Okay, so you can see that there is some white in here in between the layers. That's okay, because since we're using green grass, I'm just gonna pull the green grass and push it over so you won't see it. That is the downfall of using white foam, is that you might be able to see it. If you had Nancy's like green foamies, you could do that, or you could even put like green marker on the sides of that if you wanted to, just to hide it. But honestly, when we put in the green glass, I don't even think it's that noticeable. Okay, so I don't like filling up my glasses with all of the green grass because there isn't a whole lot of stability in the green grass. So what I like to do is use either these glass beads you can get at the Dollar Tree, or just rice that you have at home. I'm gonna pour it into my jar, filling it most of the way full. Okay, when it's almost all the way full, we're gonna open this bag up. I'm gonna stuff some grass down on the inside of that, just so we can hide the rice. And now we're just trying to hide those white pieces. See, and now you can't even see the white pieces. And then look at the sides of that. This looks like a perfect Mario tube. Is it a tube? A pipe? Okay, so now let's go over to the computer and I can show you how to design one of these so where you can put that inside of your tube. Okay, now that we're at the computer, what you want to do is open up a blank window in Design Space. And then we're going to open up just a Google window Safari. And what you're going to do is you're going to Google Mario jumping PNG. If you wanted to do Luigi, you could totally do that as well. You would just open up a new window, search up Luigi jumping PNG, come over here to images, and then the one that you're going to want for the Luigi is one that looks like he is looking at us. So this one right here, do you see how he is looking kind of at us, like the front of him? Unless you have a side profile of the person that you're using, this one right here would not be a very good option because his head's going to be like very weird and distorted. But this one right here, because he's mostly front facing, it will be perfect for this project. Okay, we're just gonna work on Mario. The other thing that you are going to need is a picture of the person that you're going to be using. That said, in a previous video, I did show you how to remove the background of your pictures just so you can create items like this. So if you don't know how to create your own cutout faces, go watch that video first before we come over here. Okay, so I'm going to choose this Mario right here, and I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to open image in new tab. This one's going to pop up, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on the cutout, just making sure that it fills up pretty decently size on our screen. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot of this. So Command Shift 4 on your keyboard for Mac, and this little like aiming tool will pop up. We are going to draw a box around the entire Mario. Make sure you don't cut off any of the Mario. I'm going to let go, and he's going to drop right here. So I'm going to go back over in Design Space. I'm going to press Upload and then Upload Image. I'm going to drag over our screenshot into our Mario. I'm going to press Complex, and then I'm going to press Continue. Okay, so Cricut Design Space has this really cool feature where you can just remove the background automatically. So I'm just going to click that, remove background. And then if we zoom in, we will notice that we have a little bit leftovers. Let me go press select. See how there's like a little bit leftovers right here and right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to press select. We're going to keep that more options to 16. And I'm just going to click that white, and you see how now the white's disappeared. That's perfect. We're going to come down here, click that white, and now it's gone. Oh, and you see when I clicked that, the little piece of his hand disappeared. So let's go over here into restore, and let's restore that little bit of hand that we got missing. Okay, now when you have that all done, let's go over here into preview cut image. Now everything that is gray is what's going to be our cuttable image. So if there is anything that is left over, or if there's like an additional hole that's on the inside of this, we can restore it, remove it, whatever. But we want to make sure that the outline is exactly the cutout that we're looking for. We're going to press apply and continue. Now I want to keep it a print then cut image because I want to make sure that I have the actual printed Mario. So let's change this over to Mario jumping. We can rename this anything you want just to make sure you remember what you name it. For a later project. When it's uploaded, we're just going to hit that one upload, and we're going to press add to canvas. Okay, now what you want to do is send over your picture that you want to use for this project. For me, since I've already done this, I'm just going to go over into recent uploads, and I'm going to scroll until I find the picture that I'm looking for. And then all you want to do is add to canvas. I'm going to view it, and there is my little schnookums. It's okay if these things are too big. We're going to resize them later, but we just want to make sure that we have everything looking the way we want to. But look at my pretty girl. Oh, so obsessed with her. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to resize her face to fit inside of Mario. So I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to tilt her face just a little bit. And I actually think that this looks best since he's like leaning forward. That means that the long part of his side, like of hair, would be flipped. So I'm going to flip her. So I'm going to flip her horizontally, and then I'm just going to go. Yeah, see, I like the way that this looks versus the other way. So all I'm doing is I'm resizing her head to fit inside of the Mario. We want to make sure and cover the face of the Mario. Don't worry too much about the hat because we're getting ready to cover that up. But like, isn't that so stinking cute? Okay, now that we have that done, we are going to go back over into Google, and we are going to search up Mario hat PNG. And you can get any Mario hat. I think I'm going to use this one this time. I don't remember what I used previously, but I think this one's going to work. We're going to find out. So let's right click this Mario hat, and we're going to open image in new tab, and doing the same process we did before. Now we're going to screenshot it. So Command Shift 4, screenshot this Mario hat. Going back over into Design Space, we are going to press upload, upload image, drag over our hat. Clicking complex, we're going to continue, and let's remove background. It's the same exact steps that we've already taken before. Okay, so do you see that I'm going to press this select button. Do you see that when we're in Design Space and we did that remove background, that now right here is disappeared? Like you can see that checkered board. If we go over here into preview image, See how now it's gonna cut that out? We don't want that, right? So let's go over here into restore, and I want to restore, oh, I'm gonna drag this brush size bigger. I'm gonna restore everything over the inside portion of this because I wanna make sure my print and cut image prints just the outside. So going back over, let's unhide this. Do you see how now everything looks like it's supposed to and we can't see that checkered mark? That's exactly what we're looking for. Then when you have that done, just press apply and continue, making sure that you have the print then cut image clicked, and we're gonna rename this, and then I'm gonna press upload. Pressing our hat and then pressing add to canvas. Okay, now let's resize this to fit our Mario head, which is going to be now my daughter's face, right? So I'm just going to turn this, make this resized. This size of hat is just going to determine on what size of head that you decided to make. So let's click both of these. Okay. Oh my gosh, isn't she so stinking cute? Oh, I am obsessed. So 2 things that you could do for this. You could do a full flattened picture like what we have here, where it's like completely flattened. I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to 3D layer on top the Mario hat because I think that's what we need. I think that's what this project needs. Not that it wasn't extra as it is, but I think adding the hat as like a second layer will make it look like real life. I am going to actually flatten her face onto the Mario because I want all of that to be like a seamless look. So I'm going to take her face, I'm going to press shift on my keyboard, and then clicking that Mario, I am going to come over here and I'm going to press flat. So now when you cut this, it's going to cut the entire outside of your cutout, and it's not gonna, your face and your Mario are not 2 separate pieces. And I'm gonna arrange this to the back. If you wanted to have your Mario face and the Mario and that hat all flattened together as one piece, you would just select everything and press flatten. Okay, we are missing Mario's mustache, right? We are missing his mustache. So let's go over here and we'll look up Mario mustache. Mario mustache PNG. And I'm gonna come over here into images and I'm gonna find the one that looks like Mario. That one seems pretty good. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna press open image in new tab. And then we're just gonna make this big. Doing the same thing that we did before, Command Shift 4 and drag and drop. Okay, then just go over here into upload image, dragging over the mustache, pressing complex and continue. And we're just gonna press remove background. Making sure that the entire mustache looks exactly the way you want. Come over here to preview image, looks good. We're gonna go apply and continue. This time I am going to cut this out on black glitter cardstock. So I'm just gonna do the cut image and I'm gonna rename this Mario Mustache and press upload. Okay, we're gonna find that upload, click it, and then press add to canvas. Ooh, and it's large. So we're just going to resize this to where it'll fit on my daughter's face. Doing the same things that we've done before. We're just gonna rotate and we're just going to move this around until it fits our kid's face. That's exactly what I want. How stinking cute. Okay, so for the next portion of this project, this is optional. You definitely don't have to do it. But what I always like to do, especially for centerpieces, my centerpieces don't come double-sided. So like that would be, this image would be the same on this side. What I like to do is I like to do just a solid blank on it. And it's just to hide the ugliness of the glue and the back of the stick that you're using. So we need to create an offset for this. So selecting everything, I'm gonna come over here into offset and I'm just gonna create an offset. This can be as large or as small as you want it to be. This is all your desire. When you have that done, I'm just gonna press apply. And because we have a print then cut image, it's going to change it over to a print then cut offset. So what we need to do is we need to come over here, then print then cut under the operation, and we're gonna change this back over into a cut. Now, I want to do this on white glitter cardstock. You could do it any cardstock color that you want, but I'm gonna come over here into this color and I'm gonna change it to white. Our offset looks like it still has a little bit of cutouts. It's hard to see, but there's like some weirdness going on there. So let's press contour. And you see how like the inside, like that's really weird. That's not what we want. I'm just gonna press over here and press hide all contours. You're gonna have some like grayed out boxes. Let's click out of that. And now over here in this toolbox, you see how it's completely filled out? That's perfect. That's exactly what you wanted it to be. So for this, there's actually 2 sheets of white glitter cardstock. There's gonna be this portion I glue on top of the 1 sheet of glitter cardstock, and then you have another sheet of glitter cardstock. Okay, so if you're using glitter cardstock for this project, I would highly suggest doing this next step. If you're using plain cardstock, this is optional. However, even if I'm using plain cardstock, I still like doing this step because when you put your paper on the mat, you kind of have a little bit of weirdness on your paper left over, like stickiness or like fraying of the paper. And so when you're doing the next step, what's going to happen is you're going to sandwich your uglies together. And so you're never going to be able to see that ugliness that's left over. That being said, if you're using glitter cardstock, the back side of glitter cardstock is plain. So if you were to cut it just the way it is, what's going to happen is you're going to flip that over, and now you're going to see the plain white of whatever glitter cardstock you're using instead of the glitterness and the sparkly. So what you need to do is with your duplicated layer, we're going to come over here to flip, and we're going to flip horizontally. And then now I'm just going to take all of this. I'm going to put it over here. Okay, now that we have that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything. I'm going to align it to the center. And I am going to just resize this to the largest option that the print and cut allows. So let's go over here and to make it. And that's exactly what we want. Now, the thing with this is that you see how we have this Mario to cut out, but then now there's a second sheet of print and cut, and like, I don't want to print 2 sheets. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this Mario. I'm gonna come over here to these 3 dots, click that, and I'm gonna move object. I'm gonna move the object over to the original, the first print and cut sheet. And now I'm just going to rearrange this, move this around until it fits into my first sheet. You don't want it to be overlapped, because if you overlap it, it'll cut it, and then you'll have like this weirdly weird messed up cutout. So we're just gonna do it like this. And so there's 2 separate pieces cut out, but now you just saved yourself 1 print and cut sheet. All right, go ahead and cut this out and then come back to me and I will show you how to assemble this. Okay, so I am using Koala's high gloss cardstock. I absolutely love this stuff just because look at that print. It is amazing. However, I have Cricut Explorer Air 2s and it doesn't always love to cut or read the registration marks for this. My trick for that is to grab yourself a white crayon. I mean, this thing, it's a little nub at this point. And all I do is I just rub the crayon over my registration marks, just like this. And then your Cricuts will be able to read the lines. You know, I don't know why this trick works, but it works, I promise. So if you're having issues with high gloss cardstock, just get yourself a white crayon. Assembly process of this portion is going to be super, super easy. It's not going to take a whole lot of anything. I am going to use hot glue just because that's the quickest way we're gonna go. And I'm gonna make sure, and I'm gonna use the side that is for this. Remember how we used the flip horizontal? This is going to be the back side. So for the top of my print and cut, I'm just gonna put a little bit of hot glue around the entire outside of my Mario cutout, and I'm just gonna put her on here, center her just perfectly onto the cardstock. If you wanted to, you could also use just regular glue for this, but you know what? It takes forever to dry. So let's just use something quick and easy. Okay, and then same thing with this hat, but this time, you know, I think what I want to do is add a little bit of cushion to her. I have a little bit on this one single sheet. I have a little bit of leftovers, so let's just make a little bit of like a dimension. A little bit of dimension will work. If you don't want to do this, you could just do plain glue if you wanted to. Okay, and I am just going to make this, layer that on top. Oh, see, look at it. Kind of gave it a little bit like you're wearing an actual hat. Little bit of dimension. Okay, for this guy, because he's so small, I'm just gonna use just my precision craft glue, and I'm just gonna put a dab of glue on the very back of that mustache. I'm gonna place it on there. Teeny tiny little mustache. All right, so this is the stick that I pulled out of here. The reason why I'm redoing that is because her mustache just looks really funny. So that's why I chose to do the Mario. So I'm gonna flip this over because remember, this is now the pretty back. I'm gonna flip this over and this is our inside portion. I am just gonna put a dab of glue down, hot glue, and I'm gonna put on my stick. It's okay if the stick is ugly. You see how there's like leftover tape or paper? It's okay because we're gonna sandwich it in. Holding the cutout, I'm just gonna put a fair amount of glue on the back side of our cutout. You wanna work fast because hot glue does dry pretty quickly. And then we're just gonna layer our top portion on top, sandwiching that in there. And remember the ugliness of the stick is now hidden inside our sandwich. We're gonna just put a little bit of glue right there. Sandwiching it in. See how now the back is nice and pretty and sparkly and the front looks amazing, and then that ugly stick that we had is hidden. Let's put a little bit more glue, and there you have it, our finished Mario cutout. Look at how stinking cute that is and how easy it was to create. Now I just got to do my second one, redo my second one to do that extra layer, and look at how stinking cute. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to make, and I will see you later.